Yeah, whatever. Sure, let's do it your way. We hear these phrases and mistake them for surrender. You stand there proud of your logic, thinking you won. You believe your verbal brilliance broke through their stubbornness. What an intoxicating delusion. Let's unwrap that lie. When someone drops a whatever into a heated discussion, they aren't conceding to your genius. They're shutting down the system. They're pulling the plug on a machine that consumes too much energy for too little output. You didn't win an argument. You just exhausted their willingness to care. You wore down their patience, and instead of continuing the hopeless task of making you see past your own nose, they chose the path of least resistance. They handed you a fake plastic crown just to make you shut up. It's an act of emotional disinvestment, wrapped in a polite bow. You are basking in the glory of an empty victory, completely blind to the reality that you are being managed, not agreed with. Nobody starts a relationship at whatever. In the beginning, there is fire and a desperate desire to be understood. Remember those late-night fights that went on for hours? The tears, the long texts, the cyclical debates about boundaries and respect? Those moments were exhausting, but they were alive. When someone yells at you, cries, or frantically tries to explain their point of view for the 15th time, they are making a massive emotional investment. They're screaming because they still believe the connection is worth saving. They believe that if they just find the right words, a light bulb will finally go off in your head. Every argument is a desperate attempt to build a bridge across a growing chasm. It is painful, but it is active. It is a sign of life. It means your opinion still has the power to hurt them, which means you still matter. But human beings have an internal meter for futility. We possess a silent ledger where we log every time we try to express a hurt and we're met with defensiveness, gaslighting, or indifference. You bring up something that bothered you, maybe how they spoke to you in front of friends, or how they constantly leave responsibilities for you to clean up. Instead of listening, they turn it back on you. They pick apart your tone. They criticize your timing. They point out a minor factual error to invalidate your entire emotional experience. You find yourself defending your right to be upset rather than addressing the actual issue. The first 10 times you fight back. You try harder. But by the 50th time, something changes fundamentally inside your brain. You look at the person across from you, open your mouth to explain the pain for the 100th time, and a freezing wave of clarity hits you. You realize that explaining color to a blind person is a waste of breath. That is the exact moment the whatever is born. It is an economic decision. It is the realization that the return on investment for arguing with you is absolute zero. Why waste breath, elevate your heart rate, and ruin your evening just to end up back at square one? The human mind naturally optimizes for survival, and emotional survival means conserving energy. So, they give you exactly what your ego wants. They agree. They nod. They say, sure, let's do it your way. And you, in your spectacular blindness, accept it as a victory. You walk around thinking the issue is resolved, completely oblivious to the fact that they have just mentally packed their bags. They have decided that you are no longer worth the friction. When a person reaches the stage of whatever, they aren't accommodating your needs, they are managing your tantrums. They treat you like a volatile toddler. You don't negotiate with a thunderstorm, you just buy an umbrella. They have downgraded you to an inconvenience handled with minimum noise. Look closely at the mechanics of this silent withdrawal. Notice how the texture of the relationship shifts. The texts get shorter. The responses take longer. The topics of conversation become incredibly superficial, restricted entirely to logistics, weather, and what to eat for dinner. When you make a selfish decision or repeat the behavior that used to spark a massive fight, they don't even flinch anymore. They just look at you with a blank expression and say, okay. You think to yourself that they've really matured lately and are finally learning to let things go. What an absolute joke. They haven't matured. They've checked out. They haven't learned to let it go. They've learned to let you go. The peace you are currently enjoying isn't harmony. It's the eerie quiet of an abandoned building. They are no longer collecting memories with you. They are just collecting evidence to justify the day they finally walk out the door for good. Every whatever is a brick in the wall they are building. It is a slow, methodical accumulation of disappointment. It's the dinner reservation they let you cancel without a fight because they've already realized your promises mean nothing. It's the opinion they keep to themselves because they know your ears are only open to your own voice. It's the small, daily withdrawals from the emotional bank account until the balance hits flatline zero. You are left holding a ledger of superficial compliance, thinking you are the master of your domain, completely unaware that you are ruling over an empty kingdom. The person sitting across from you has already left. Their physical body is just taking time to catch up with their mind. They are participating in the relationship the same way an employee works notice after finding a better job. They do the bare minimum to keep the peace, they don't complain, and they count down the hours until the exit date. They don't want to fix things anymore because talking with you has become a masterclass in exhaustion. This brings us to the heavy realization everyone eventually faces when the illusion shatters. True relationship danger doesn't sound like screaming or slamming doors. True danger sounds like absolute silence. It sounds like a calm partner who has stopped asking anything of you. The day they stop complaining is the day they stop caring. The day they stop correcting your misconceptions is the day they decided you aren't worth the education. If you are currently in a dynamic where you win every argument because the other person always backs down, wake up immediately. You aren't winning anything. You are just being tolerated while they quietly construct an exit strategy. You are being pacified with empty agreements so your noise doesn't disrupt their internal departure process. When the curtain drops, you will be left standing alone in the room you fought to control. You will look at your flawless victories and realize you won every single battle, but completely lost the war. You will realize that whatever wasn't a confession that you were right. It was a formal notification that you no longer matter enough to be told you're wrong. You thought your flawless logic finally won the argument. You didn't realize your empty victory just lost the person.